Leadership failure, bon appetit. Hi, my name is Alexis Armenta.
My name is Kayla Holm.
I'm Paula Javanfar.
My name is Abdul Rahman Mohammed.
And my name is Paige Talaska.
Welcome to our presentation about leadership failure. Our article will be on bon appetit. Our presentation goes through leadership failure, transactional leadership, fostering a culture of diversity, servant leadership, and finally, the summary. Now we will show you a short video.
Bon Appetit's YouTube series is the latest food personality to speak out against the culture that former and current employees have called toxic and riddled with microaggressions. In an Instagram post on Thursday, Gourmet Makes host wrote that she had spent the past few days searching for words to address the ongoing controversy surrounding the publication. Ultimately, she said she rejected the advice she'd been given about how to handle the situation in order to avoid resharing the trite and hollow promises about listening and doing better. Statements of solidarity, she continued, don't matter without sustained and meaningful action. The point of this post is not to perform an apology or save face. It's not about view counts or likes, she wrote. It's about complicity and accountability. As an employee, she revealed, she was aware of some of the toxic, racist, and ultra-competitive
The Leadership Failure in Bon Appetit magazine is a monthly magazine of recipes and food-related content. A chef from this article came forward on social media to express the frustration she had with the editor-in-chief after the photo was taken of him doing a brown face. As a result, the chief and employees of the magazine came forward against racism. The main complaints were a lack of representation and unequal compensation. Now Abdul is going to talk about transactional leadership.
So the type of leadership that was being used in the Bon Appetit scandal was transactional leadership. By definition, transactional leadership is someone who values order and structure. Transactional leadership on self-motivated people who work well in structured and direct environments. It primarily focuses on one of the style of leadership that supervision, organization, and performance is an integral part of a full range of leadership. Transactional leadership has its downfalls as well. It eliminates individuality, limits the amount of innovation, focuses on consequences instead of rewards. Empathy and sympathy have no role in transactional leadership. I feel as if those are some of the reasons why the organization fell apart, along with many others. Next slide. Since transactional leadership operates within rules that cannot be charged with manners, with the style of leadership do not really put emotions of employees into consideration, so long as it takes tasks are done, which led to the ultimate demise of the failure of the organization. This continued to foster hate and racism within the organization. The Bon Appetit leadership focused on individuality and ultimately led to the disbandment of the organization. Next, Kayla is going to talk about fostering a culture of diversity.
So one of the topics that we covered this semester was fostering a culture of diversity as a leader. And based off of what we've already gone over, the chef's complaints at Bon Appetit were that Black, Indigenous, and people of color voices weren't being amplified, they weren't being recognized, and they weren't being compensated fairly. And this is accredited to the chief editor, Adam Rapport, who also showed racist tendencies and ended up kind of imploding the organization. One of the articles by Wanguri says that a manager and supervisors have a responsibility to their employees to create a fair and equitable environment. With a fair and equitable environment comes a more productive and satisfied workforce. So Bon Appetit was failing to create this environment where people felt like they could be comfortable exploring diversity. And the culture aspect of this is more of normalizing practices that are opening and accepting two differences. The other aspect of fostering a culture of diversity is this idea of commonalities and branching out from the commonalities. One of our other sources by Guo says that managing diversity only ends up privileging dominant perspectives with other voices being either assimilated or submerged. So in this instance, Bon Appetit was using Black, Indigenous, and people of color as pawns to give a facade of diversity rather than actually allowing them to explore their cultures and share their cultures with the platform. What should have happened, there should have been more emphasis on the commonality, which was food, and the uniqueness of each employee, which led to that, or which contributed to that commonality. So for the Black, Indigenous, and people of color, it's giving them more of a platform to grow and more of a platform to express their own cultures. Now, Paige is going to talk about servant leadership.
Hi, so we decided that servant leadership was going to be the best way for Bon Appetit to improve as a company in the future. So first, I would like to start off by defining servant leadership. According to the Leadership Quarterly, servant leadership is a holistic leadership approach that engages followers in multiple dimensions, including relational, ethical, emotional, and spiritual. These relations are allowing individuals to be empowered and to grow into the capable beings that they are. The importance of this is that it allows for all different types of relationships to flourish at work. And when there is a good relationship between employers and employees, it allows for a lot of connections to be made, and also it creates a really good work environment. Next slide, please. So how Bon Appetit can benefit from servant leadership is, before, with their transactional leadership and their lack of diversity, they didn't allow for many relationships to really connect. And there was a big lack of just empathy and compassion in their entire company. And so by moving forward, by being more inclusive and also driving for better relationships between employers and employees rather than just individual work, they can work together and create a better environment for everyone. Before, like the video had demonstrated, they had previous chefs had described the work environment as a toxic environment. So I think that with servant leadership, allowing for that to become part of their company would create a positive work environment. And the Leadership Quarterly also stated that when followers' well-being and growth are prioritized at work, they are in turn more engaged and effective with what they're producing. So I think overall, not only would it be a more positive environment for everyone involved at the company, it would also show in their work that they are improving in the long run. Next, Paula is going to be talking about our summary.
Thank you, Paige. So the stars from Bon Appetit felt like they were not being recognized or compensated equally than their employees, their white employees. We came to the conclusion with thorough research, the effective style would be the servant leadership, and then following the qualities of a transactional leader, which led them to many scandals and upsetted 6 of their members, of their main stars. With more research, we came to the conclusion that fostering diversity is another way in which Bon Appetit could turn their leadership failure into a success.
These are our references. Thank you.